on this video, we're going to talk about how we get all the information from the state to get all the evidence that's against you. If a law firm does this right, all this evidence has to get disclosed to us before trial. And if they don't give it to us, then they can't use it at trial. But our approach in my system is that we need to get this information as quickly as we can. And I hear stories about other law firms, they won't give this information to the client. We do it differently. So anything that we're going to get, you're going to turn around and get. You're going to see all the videos, all the documents, everything like that we have, we're going to give to you. So let's talk about this process first. First thing I want to talk about is what's called discovery. And discovery is the term that we use. It's legal jargon, but it's basically we file the motion, and what it says is we're telling the prosecutor, you need to give us all the evidence you intend to use against our client. You need to identify this. We need to see all the proof, everything like that. Under the rules, once we file the motion, they have 30 days to give it to us. But in practice, there's really no penalty if they don't do it. And we run into situations where they'll hem and haw, they don't give it to us, but we get a trial date scheduled and we're getting up closer to it and we still don't have it. So part of what our staff is hounding the prosecutor, they're following up, we got to get this stuff. I would say in most cases, we get it pretty quickly, but there are situations where they'll drag their feet and they won't give it to us. Now, the other method that we use is we do freedom of information requests. Almost all the evidence and everything regarding you, regarding your case, almost always it's subject to FOIA. So what we do is we send these FOIA requests to the law enforcement agencies that were involved. Let's say you were arrested by the city police, then we're going to send freedom of information requests to them to give us all the documents, all the videos. Now, it's basically the same thing because under discovery, the law enforcement agency has to give it to the prosecutor, and then the prosecutor gives it to us. But under FOIA, we can go right to the law enforcement agency and get it from them. And not only that, but we get it a lot faster. They have to give it to us in 3 days. Every once in a while, we run into one that will refuse to give it to us. And the way that we do our freedom of information requests is I'm the person asking for it. So when they refuse to give it to me, I can then go file a lawsuit to make them produce that to us. And I kind of describe this as working the case backwards because you were there, you know what happened, you know what we have that's for you and how things can be explained best for you. But what we need to see is what is all the evidence that they have against you. And then we need to do our legal research, see how it fits into the elements and all that. And then we're going to sit down and have some honest conversations with you because if it's a case where 3 cops are accusing you of doing something, your position is that you didn't. If we get to court and 3 cops say you did and you say you didn't, that's probably not going to go your way. Or if the person accusing you, maybe they're just lying through their teeth, but if they're a high-ranking member in the church and they have the better reputation, we have to take that into consideration and see how that works. So we're looking at this evidence in terms of how does it fit under the charges that have been brought against you, and sometimes they just don't have it, and we're able to convince the prosecutor to drop it, or we feel really, really good about going to trial. And then other times we look at it, it's like, hey, client, it's it's a little on the line, they've got enough here to make their case. There's going to be a risk if we go forward with this, but the reason we want to get it early and get it to you, make sure that you have it, that way you're making the best decision for you, and you have as long as possible to make that decision. Because remember, with other firms, if you get this at all, you're not going to get it until right before trial, then they're just shoving some papers in your face, like, here, sign this, take that deal. So our belief is whatever decision you're going to make on this case, it's very important. So we're going to get this information to you as quickly as we can, and that way you can look at it and then you can make an educated decision that's best for you about how we're going to handle this case, either settle it out or go to trial. The Discovery and FOIA, that's our 2 ways of getting the evidence from the state to see what they have against you. Thanks.